Hey everybody, today we're going to do another album that never was. We're going to do a fantastic Beatles compilation of their best psychedelic stuff here on Pop Goes the 60s. Let me take you back to the mid to late 70s when EMI started to release all these awful Beatles compilations. The Beatles no longer had control over that. I'm referring to albums like the Beatles' 20 Greatest Hits, Real Music, the Beatles' Ballads, the abominable rock and roll music. The record I want to pick on today is the compilation that is the Beatles' Love Songs. Now this came out in 1977 and it's a double album, and it was packaged in this faux leather cover, and there's a little bit of a texture to it to feel like leather apparently, but it doesn't feel like anything like leather. And it's got this gold foil stamp on it. This is very un-Beatle looking, and the track listing is even worse. Of the 25 tracks on here, 21 of them are from the pre-Sgt. Pepper days. So it doesn't really give a good span of their work across their whole career. And even one side I think is all Paul McCartney songs, so it's not even a good mix of singers and composers. So the one thing that is nice about this album, some nice photography. This was photographed by Richard Avedon originally for the Look magazine photo shoot. And these photos were used also in the psychedelic photos that they also did. I think they were also in that same spread. But other than that, this is just an example of one of the very poor compilations that the Beatles despised. The worst of them all was a cassette tape called Only the Beatles that was to be given away with a case of like Heineken beer. And when they heard about this, they just put their foot down. They said, no way. And from that point forward, nothing gets done without their approval. So I don't have their approval, but I came up with a riff on this album that features not their love songs, but their drug songs. Now this is what I consider to be a very fine compilation of their best psychedelic music, and although I know they would never release an album with the title Drug Songs, I wanted to just do that to parody the love songs. And using photographs from the same session, these are the psychedelic photos that I spoke of earlier, and instead of the leather background, we've got this paisley design, front and back. And I chose the same exact number of tracks from Love Songs. Now, before I take you through the track listing, let me show you the inside. So I used the same photograph on the inside of Love Songs for this compilation and just screened it back and just put that paisley print behind them and over the top of them just to make it a little more psychedelic. The Beatles gave us a great amount of progressive, psychedelic, and edgy music throughout their whole career, really, but mainly starting in 1966. So I left off a couple songs here, but I put, there are 25 songs on here, and we're going to start with side one. I'm going to go through these real quickly here so you get an idea. And what I did is I tried to mix them up, albums, singers, so there's a good flow of songs here. And we start off with Magical Mystery Tour, and then we go into Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. We jump over to Because from Abbey Road, which I think is, the vocals on there are just great, very ethereal. I find that a bit psychedelic. From Because, we go to Lovely Rita. And then from Lovely Rita, we go into the guitar-drenched It's All Too Much. Finishing off side one, we have maybe the ultimate acid song, Tomorrow Never Knows. Side two, we start off with another great album opener, Strawberry Fields Forever. This is followed by Fixing a Hole. And then we have She Said, She Said. From there we go to George Harrison's The Inner Light, one of his Indian pieces. And then from that piece we go into the great vocal opening of Paperback Writer. The final song on disc one is A Day in the Life, obviously a song that I feel can't be anywhere but at the close of an album side. Opening up side 3, we have Taxman, another great album opener from George, and that's followed by Baby You're a Rich Man, B-side of All You Need Is Love, and Magical Mystery Tour track. And then we go to Wild Honey Pie from the White Album. Now that song is about as whacked out as the Beatles ever got, I think. And then from there we go to Across the Universe, John's great lyrical, dreamlike song. After that we come back to George with It's Only a Northern Song. And then we go back to Revolver for Got to Get You Into My Life. Closing off side 3, we have I Am the Walrus, another Natural album closer. All right, we got one more side to go, and we're going to open it up with another George song, Within You, Without You. That song, I mean, of all his Indian tracks, it's probably his most complex and lyrically the most philosophical. From there we go to John's Rain, one of my favorite psychedelic tracks by them. And then from Rain we go to Hey Bulldog, which I find to be at the tail end of the psychedelic era. Great guitar solo there. And we're going to come back now to 1966 for Eleanor Rigby. Next we have Glass Onion from the White Album, which I find to be a very weird song. And then we close up this compilation with The End from Abbey Road. And I argue that is psychedelic because of all the great guitar solos, and that's a little bit more of that era. Great track, and a great close to what I feel is a sensible compilation. Now, they could still do a great psychedelic compilation if they wanted to. Maybe someday we'll see that. I doubt it, though. So if you want to give this a listen, I'm going to do a podcast so you can listen to this all the way through. The link will be below, and we'll look forward to seeing you here again on Pop Goes the 60s.